Alright, welcome back, and it is time to take a look at the new Tier 11 main battle tanks. Yes, we are definitely getting close. Actually, we already kind of did get modern vehicles. Well, technically the first modern vehicle platoon has been added. So, today I'll be driving the T-80U, and honestly, this is a fairly decent vehicle. I was quite surprised by it. Has a 125mm main cannon, 70 km/h top speed, 12 km/h is reverse. Now, honestly, I'm more than happy with that reverse speed. This thing is very agile, very maneuverable, and does have some decent ammo to back that up. You do get 80 gems, you do get heat-based shells, you do get 2 different APFSDS shells. It has decent armor, although it does have the same weak spot, being the lower plate. Basically, anything that goes through the lower plate will connect with the autoloader, and it will basically pop the turret off the vehicle. So, if you can manage to hide the lower plate, it's actually a fairly tanky vehicle, fairly armored vehicle. The turret is also really good. You do also get some AT gem protection and high explosive shell protection with the explosive reactive armor. Now let me quickly go and show you the ammo types, the ammo that you get. Heat 550mm penetration, you have explosive, 1 APFSDS of 550mm penetration, AT gem has 700mm penetration, and you do get the other APFSDS with 430mm penetration. I use the APFSDS and AT gem combo on this vehicle. So far that's been working just fine. You can use AT gem against lightly armored vehicles, or you can use it against vehicles that have tougher armor. And pretty much if your AP shell fails, you do have a secondary missile to help you out. So let's take this thing for a ride and let's see how it will play. Now, I like the way this vehicle feels when you're driving it. It doesn't really feel like a T-based series. I mean, usually in this category of vehicles, in this tier, all the T-based vehicles have very bad reverse speed. 5 km/h, 4 km/h being the usual the usual reverse speed that you will encounter on this vehicle. This vehicle is definitely one little exception to that, and this is pretty much why it became my favorite. Well, not exactly my favorite, but why I do like to use this vehicle. The reverse speed is for a T-based tank. The reverse speed is actually really good. If we were to compare it to the Leopard or STRV or the previous tier 10 vehicles, the reverse speed would be bad, but for this tank, for this vehicle, yeah, 12 km/h is decent. Now, when it comes to the overall durability of the vehicle, as I mentioned before, you need to cover the lower plate as much as you can. Pretty much lower plate, if it's exposed, anything that goes through will connect with the autoloader, and as we have already seen, the turret will just pop off. So the durability can be good and bad at the same time. Good because it does have decent armor and you will be able to bounce shells with the frontal plate and with the turret. Very few vehicles like the M60 MBT are able to just low pan the frontal plate on this thing. Very few vehicles can actually go through the frontal plate on the T80 and on the T90A. So on that front, you do get some decent form of protection on the vehicle, and the durability in that aspect is decent. Obviously, tandem AT gems, they will go through. Tandem AT gems can have over 1,000 millimeters of penetration, and yeah, they will just cut through the armor like no big deal. So definitely don't rely on the armor too much. I would still say do not rely on armor in top tier at all, because it's honestly a bad idea to rely on armor in top tier, especially when everyone is firing shells with high penetration or tandem AT gems and stuff like that. I prefer to use cover and to expose as little as possible of the vehicle. Usually I try to expose the turret. The turret is, as mentioned before, the turret is very tough. I think the T90 has a better turret armor than this vehicle, but we will go and play the T90 pretty soon after this video is released. I will play the T90 as well. That vehicle is actually, I do like the T90. The only problem with the T90 is the reverse speed. It's 4 km/h, which is pretty funny because the T80 does get a better reverse speed than the T90. And I think technically the T80 should be a generation behind the T90, although I'm not entirely sure. I kind of forgot the dates on the vehicles.
Most of the strategic zones are captured.
But yeah, I mean, the acceleration on this thing is actually really solid. You know, I would say the acceleration on the whole platoon is very good. They feel menacing, that's for sure. They do feel quite menacing to drive around. And well, that's the first battle. Nothing spectacular. I mean, I haven't had much luck with the new tanks, but you know, it is what it is. Haven't had a lot of luck with them. I had more luck with the Type 16 FPS than I've had with the T90. And let's go to the next battle. I get, well, who'd have thought? I get the same map. But yeah, overall, my initial experience with the T80 is pretty good. Now there is a question: should you be playing and buying this platoon? Is it worth it? You know, as I usually say, if you do like the vehicle, then go for it. But if you don't like the vehicle, that's fine. You can wait for a vehicle that does work for you the best. In my case, I play all the vehicles. I have vehicles that I like, I have tanks that I don't like, and that's pretty much, that's normal. I mean, I can't really enjoy all the vehicles, even though I try, but I personally enjoy the faster vehicles. Armor isn't really my thing, even though having good armor is nice, but I still prefer maneuverability and speed over having armor, because armor can fail. Speed and maneuverability, if used properly, is probably not going to fail, although both can fail, but I trust speed and maneuverability a lot more. Well, that was a good hit. What did the fuel exploded? Okay, that's interesting. I think these vehicles should be using diesel engines, so having a diesel fuel tank explode like that is a little bit weird. As we all know, diesel is much less flammable than petrol. I need to see what fuel these vehicles are using. I think it should be diesel. Based on the sound, it sounds like a diesel engine, so that should be the thing. But yeah, that's pretty much my general experience with the T80. It's a decent vehicle. I have, for the most part, I have pretty good experience with it. Obviously, some battles are better than others. Can't really get 10, 12, 13 destroyed vehicles per battle. Even though sometimes I do get that, but that's sometimes, not always. That's the thing. But I think with the T90 I will, if I remember correctly, with the T90 I will get some better battles, hopefully. I think I did get some better battles with it. You will see that very soon, because I'll be uploading the next video quite soon after this one. Okay. Well, I mean, you know, sometimes you just have a bad day and you can't really get a good battle, which is fine. I have a bad day pretty much every day, so I'm pretty much used to that. But yeah, since we are nearing the end of the video, tell me which one of the vehicles in the new platoon is your favorite. I think if I had to pick one, I think I would go with the T90A, although the T90A does lack a reverse speed. But it does get some better ammo, and overall I think that vehicle could potentially be the best vehicle of this platoon, but more on that in the next video, which should be released very soon. And well, with that being said, hope you guys enjoy. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe, and with that being said, stay safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.